very, very mad, Mick. You've made a stupid mistake with your disinformation here. Like, this is clearly not me.
Lee also sent me the video of the B4UR1 made.
He's a liar, liar.
Outside the court when a mate of his,
He's a liar, liar.
who was accused of tying up a young lady and raping her, got found not guilty in court. I'm
very, very, very mad, Mick. I wasn't even going to mention your history because you was found not guilty in court yourself, wasn't you? From theft from old age pensioners in ambulance. While you was working in the ambulance, you and your colleague, the driver.
So that's where the association with sex offenders or people who have been accused of rape, right? That's where the association comes in. And I've seen the video of that.
He's a liar, liar. Oh, he's a liar, liar. Oh, you can't trust him. No, 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 no.
So, very, very, very mad, Mick. I challenge you to produce the video you've seen with me filming this so-called rapist that was found not guilty.
He's a liar, liar.
And whilst you boast that you got found not guilty in court, the ambulance service had a disciplinary hearing and you got found guilty and they would not reverse that decision. You was found guilty and sacked, Mick. When they searched your houses, your colleague was found with a very, very expensive machine stolen from the ambulance in his wardrobe. Yes.
He's a liar, liar. Oh, he's a liar, liar. Oh, you can't trust him. No, 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 no.
Now, very, very, very mad, Mick. Can we talk about the other subject you talked about, Satanists? I think we should just look at some of the evidence and stop talking bullshit like you are. This is your view on denouncing Satan just before your criminal gang member, Sexton Crew gang member, called you up and had a word with you.
Mark Steele says it can be simply put to bed by B4UR1 denouncing Satan. All right, okay. And then B4UR1 is like, why the fuck do I need to denounce Satan? What are you talking about? And I get that. Makes no sense to me either. So, if that is the case, and that is a judgment of whether people are a Satanist or not, I would hereby right now like to go on the record and denounce Satan and all his demons. I am not a Satanist. I am not working on Satan's side or anyone's side.
Well, very, very mad, Mick. This looks like Mark Steele scared you very much.
Obviously, now Mark has heard me denounce Satan. He knows I'm not a Satanist and he knows I'm not working with the devil. So when he gets those exact same words from B4UR1, said the same thing to Lee, that he was coming for Lee. Now, B4UR1 had said the same thing to me yesterday, that he was coming for me.
He's a liar, liar. Oh, you can't trust him. No, 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 no.
And this is where the wife bit comes into it. This is all very bizarre, right? And I completely, when Lee tells me this, I believe him because of the very small dealings I've had B4UR1. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. B4UR1 said to Lee Garrett, and my wife will be coming for your wife.
He's a liar, liar. Oh, you can't trust him. No, 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 no.
So all of these fake exposures that you're doing on people, your wife is just as guilty as you are. So that's what I'd say on that matter. That's what your wife has to do with this.
So there you have it, very, very mad, Mix. Even Lee Garrett himself telling you that's why my wife's a target, because I've been calling out shills. No other reason. So what are you doing? What is your role in this, Mr. Mad Mix?
Yes, we've had help from Andrew Bridgen, who I like, by the way. I don't care what anybody thinks. He's a Freemason. No, he's not. He's gone public. He is not a Freemason. He's made it clear. Whether he's controlled opposition, I don't give a rat's ass. He's helped us tip that over the edge and get a little bit more publicity that we need.
But I've never watched any of his videos that I know of, okay? I might now, because some of them were quite funny and quite interesting. He happens to think that a lot of the people that I think are controlled, and he's done videos explaining why they're controlled. So you can go over to B4UR1 channel and you can see these videos and you can see who he believes is controlled and who he thinks ain't controlled. And it is quite interesting and quite funny. You know, in places it's quite funny because you can see the obviousness of what's been going on over the last 3 years. And the B4UR1 and the B4UR12, unfortunately, that makes sense. I don't want it to make sense, but in the world of Satanism, when I know that satanic ritual abuse goes on, before you are 1 year old, they have certain rituals. Before you are 12 years old, they have certain rituals. Unfortunately, B4UR1 has this call sign. That's his title.
And sorrow now, we gotta change the world and think of tomorrow.
I believe that your name is very, very concerning, and I believe that you are some sort of fucking child abuser or something online. That's what I reckon. That's what I think. Your wife is just as guilty as you are. That's what your wife has to do with this.
B4UR1, B4UR1 means before you become a victim of the system used since 2005 when I got involved in activism. B4UR12 is a variation B4UR1 2. B4U2R1 is another variation B4U2R1. If Mark is implying another meaning, perhaps he could have the conviction to state what he means. Perhaps he lacks evidence and knows this would be libel.
So, B4UR1, from what I've gathered, he sent me a lot of stuff, like hours worth of stuff. B4UR1 sent me some videos of him from 20 years ago.
They've got plans for your sons and daughters to take part in the new world orders. There's too much happening that we can't explain. It ain't funny and it ain't no game. Set our children free, free to be the things they want to be. See, before you are one, I think you will agree we're living in a world of greed and sorrow. Now we gotta change the world and think of tomorrow. You know it's true. These songs that we're singing, they're about me and you, and the things we can do. Then share with anyone. We'll throw some news and smoke a joint, and turn each other on to get high. High and fly. I will. And if you tell me what is wrong, I'll pour my heart out in a song. I said, nah, Bush, I'm glad. I said, you're so unkind. The things you do, they really blow my mind. You really terrorize me. Sir Bob, Sir Elton and Sir Paul McCartney, Sir Bob.
So that's impressive, right? If you're out there doing this 20 years ago, then fucking fair play to you. 20 years ago, I couldn't even send an email, let alone have a fucking channel. So fair play to him, he's been doing it forever, right?
The irony of the people you're getting your information from. Lee Gallett's friend, when he got found with child porn on his phone, Lee Gallett played it down that it was some Asian guy and not a 10-year-old trafficked child, of which it was.
Asian guy from somewhere in the Middle East raping a goat. That's what the video was.
Oh, he's a liar, liar. Oh, you can't trust him. No, 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 no.
Or something along them lines.
And I get Mark's, I completely understand Mark's first comment when he said, oh, you've met my stalker. Because this guy is relentless.
At this point, on your third video about me, I realise you're beyond the point of no return. Here's some proof that I have not stalked you. Here's the full text messages we sent and just the one voice clip I sent you. You're a liar. Hi Michael, thanks for taking the time to look over my stuff. I'm going to send you 2 more videos though, mate. These are very, very personal videos going back a few more years, like, yeah. I've already taken you back 20 years of my work now, like, yeah, but these are very personal videos. Take a look at them, please. Grab yourself a coffee and have a look at the next one.
Now, back in the day when I was a kid, B4UR1 meant, oh, is he one? Oh, he might be one. Oh, is he one of those? Oh, he's one. Yeah, you know what it meant back in the olden days. Now, fuck knows what it means. I don't even give a shit what it means. The first person, the crazy stalker, we'll call him, decided that he was happy when I made the video about his perspective, but then didn't want the perspective of the other side to be aired.
Oh, he's a liar, liar. Oh, you can't trust him. No, 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 no.
Very often, the terms get thrown around, and it has already with me, with one of his agents. He has an agent.
Oh, he's a liar, liar. Oh, you can't trust him. No, 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 no.
And their go-to is accusing people of being a nonce.
And we've put a lot of these dodgy characters to bed in the past, but this kid wants to drag it all back up, right? And obviously that's why I'm doing this video, just to put him back in his box.
What Mark Steele actually means is that B4UR1 Media has realized the Truther movement is full of lying, grifting conspiracy influencers and has been warning people who might be daft enough to follow these Muppets. This has really upset Mark Steele because he is one of the Muppets B4UR1 Media has called out as a lying, grifting con man.
And he's actually admitted he's been policing the movement from the get-go. He told George that from Liverpool, that he's been policing the movement from the get-go. Well, who for? So he says it's obviously just keeping a check on everybody, but he continually posts memes and nonsense. And the most serious thing, he's been linking back to a number of Brigade 77 members, child molesters.
Warning, bullshit alert.
Traffickers, right?
That was bullshit.
People who have signs and symbols and video footage that alludes to the fact that they're into the kiddie stuff, okay? So
Is Mark Steele projecting again? Mark Steele has a deep fascination with accusing people of the most vile of things without any credible evidence. Mark just can't help himself. He thinks of kiddies and his perverted mind runs wild.
Mad Mix is very skeptical that Mark Steele is who he claims to be. He hasn't seen any evidence, and he's observed, quite correctly, that Mark Steele has made a number of statements that are completely illogical. All this Satanism business, all this accusing other people of being sex offenders. And what about his claims to be a weapons expert without any evidence? If Mad Mix can see it, then it really doesn't take much intellect to figure out that Mark Steele is a liar. Well, all of that was before Mad Mix's call with Mark Steele. Let's see how he's changed a few hours later.
So, Mark Steele phoned me. Speaking to him, he seems like a really decent bloke. And he told me some stuff, and now I'm going to share that stuff with you.
What a difference a few hours can make. I've never heard Mark Steele called decent before. We're talking about the Gateshead gunman here, the man who is famous in his hometown for shooting a teenager in the face, recklessly discharging a firearm whilst he was working as a pub bouncer at the Redskins pub in the Washington area near Gateshead. You ask the girl who received a bullet to her face and couldn't walk for a number of years. I'm sure she would have some concerns about that adjective applied to Mark Steele. But remember, we're going to find out how Mad Mix's cognitive abilities have been affected by a brief exposure to Mark Steele.
Steele explained to me, if you are a Satanist, you are not permitted to denounce Satan.
This is shaping up to be quite an interesting experiment. It's almost as if exposure to Mark Steele causes one's skeptical ability to just instantly wither away. Here we have Mad Mix, who previously thought that it didn't make sense, just simply accepting Mark Steele's claim that Satanists are not allowed to denounce Satan. Does he have a shred of skepticism left?
Surely, as a Satanist, you just lie. You lie about everything. Mark says to me, yes, that is the case, but you're not allowed to lie about that. So
you can just see what little skepticism Mad Mix had, just melting away, even in his recounting of this call. He's summarizing the call he just had with Mark Steele, so we know what a clever boy he's been. It's like he just lost the ability to think. A thing that Mad Mix previously pointed out made zero sense is now just accepted, as if it were a truth, as if it were plain fact from an authority on that subject, even though a few hours earlier, Mad Mix was expressing skepticism. Mad Mix was pointing out that Steele's argument was illogical, and Steele did not present any relevant credentials to say that he was an authority on the subject that he was speaking about. But here's Mad Mix just accepting it all. It's almost like something's happened to his brain.
So the Satanists do various sacrifices, various tortures, various blood rituals on human babies before they are 1 year old.
And do you have any evidence for that? Did Mark Steele present any evidence at all that that is what Satanists do? Or did you just accept that on faith